On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur bound for Beijing. But just 40 minutes later, the plane vanished from radar. No distress call, no clear explanation. To this day, MH370 remains aviation's greatest mystery. MH370 was a Boeing 777 with 239 people on board. It departed at 12:41 a.m. local time, and everything seemed normal. But less than an hour later, as it crossed into Vietnamese airspace, the aircraft simply disappeared from civilian radar. In the immediate aftermath, the world's attention was fixed on the South China Sea. This was the last known position of MH370. An unprecedented international search was launched, with dozens of ships and aircraft converging on the area. For days, crews scoured the waters, chasing down every possible lead, but each potential clue led to a dead end, deepening the mystery and amplifying the anguish of the families waiting for news. Then, a shocking revelation emerged. While civilian radar lost the plane, Malaysian military radar had tracked an unidentified aircraft after it went dark. The data showed the plane didn't just disappear, it made a sharp, deliberate turn to the west, flying back over the Malay Peninsula and out towards the Andaman Sea. The search in the South China Sea, the focus of the world's efforts, had been in the wrong place entirely. The final piece of the puzzle came from a British satellite company, Inmarsat. Their satellite had continued to receive automated hourly pings from the aircraft. Analysis of these signals allowed investigators to plot two vast arcs of possible flight paths, one north over Central Asia and the other south, deep into the remote southern Indian Ocean. After ruling out the northern route, the focus shifted to the desolate southern corridor. The search area had now expanded exponentially to one of the most isolated stretches of water on the planet. The hunt for MH370 was starting over. In the vacuum of information, a flood of theories emerged, each trying to solve the impossible puzzle of MH370. So what really happened? Investigators were faced with a handful of haunting possibilities, from a catastrophic mechanical failure to a fire on board, possibly ignited by the large shipment of lithium-ion batteries in its cargo. This could have knocked out communications and incapacitated the crew, leaving the plane to fly on autopilot as a ghost flight until it ran out of fuel. But this didn't fully account for the deliberate, calculated turns the aircraft made. This led investigators to the most disturbing theory: deliberate human intervention. The plane's communication systems weren't just lost, they were systematically switched off. The flight path wasn't random, it was navigated. This pointed to either a hijacking or, most controversially, an act by one of the crew members. Scrutiny fell heavily on Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah after a flight simulator was found in his home with a plotted course eerily similar to MH370's final path. For over a year, there was nothing. Then, in July 2015, a piece of a wing, a flaperon, washed ashore on Reunion Island. It was the first piece of physical evidence confirming the plane had indeed gone down in the Indian Ocean. But despite the most extensive search in aviation history, the main wreckage was never located. Without the plane's black boxes, all these scenarios remain unproven theories. The final moments of the 239 souls on board and the ultimate reason for their disappearance remain a heartbreaking mystery, lost to the depths of the vast, silent ocean. The disappearance of MH370 changed aviation forever. Flight tracking rules were updated, satellite tracking improved, and pressure increased for better communication systems. But for the families of the 239 people lost, answers are still missing. More than a decade later, the mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 remains one of the most profound of the modern age. For the families of the 239 souls on board, the world has not moved on. They are suspended in a state of ambiguous loss, a grief without closure, forever waiting for an answer that has never come. Yet from this tragedy, a tangible legacy has emerged. The disappearance of MH370 was a brutal wake-up call for the aviation industry, exposing critical gaps in global flight tracking. In response, new international standards were forged, mandating that commercial aircraft report their position far more frequently. It's a systemic change born from loss, designed to ensure no plane can ever simply vanish from the grid again. The search for MH370 became the largest and most expensive in aviation history. An unprecedented international coalition scoured millions of square kilometers of remote ocean. But the vast, unforgiving depths guarded their secrets. Despite deploying the most advanced submersible technology, the ocean floor, a landscape more alien than the surface of the moon, offered no clues, no wreckage, no final resting place. In the absence of evidence, theories have filled the void. Was it a deliberate act, a sudden catastrophic decompression, or an unforeseen mechanical failure that sent the plane on its phantom journey? Each scenario has been debated and analyzed, but without the black boxes, they remain just that, theories. MH370 is now more than just an unsolved case. It is a haunting reminder of the limits of our technology and the immense power of the natural world. Until the day the wreckage is found, the true story of Flight 370 and the final moments of its 239 passengers and crew may never be known.